look at high school football scores and highlights from across the valley with Mo Carter and Hannah Oliveto. This is First Down Friday night on WZDX. Sponsored by Northeast Alabama Community College and Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits.
And so it begins a new season of First Down Friday night. Mo Carter and Hannah Oliveto hanging out with you tonight to bring you some of the great action from the gridiron.
For some teams, this is their first week of the season, but for others, it's just week 0. We're just calling it kickoff week here at WZDX.
I like that idea. We'll start things off at Madison Academy. The Mustangs hosting the Blue Tornadoes from out of Mccallie. They come from by way of Chattanooga, Tennessee. You gotta love the support that we get from the cheerleaders locally. And busting through the banner is Madison Academy, but I'll tell you this, Jalen Brackett pulls down the ball carrier here from Mccallie, right in front of our camera person. Not a lot of things happening tonight for Madison Academy. We'll show you why. Evan Brooks brings the ball down the field, eventually coughs it up, fumbles it away, and you can't do that against a really good team like Mccallie as the coaches look on frustrated. In the second possession of the night, Luke Aneo throws an interception, and it is almost taken back halfway, but guess what? That'll set things up for Mccallie as they go ahead and hand it off to their running back. Straight up the gut, he goes untouched for a touchdown, 17-0 at that point. Mccallie, let's check out your final score. It wasn't a good night for Madison Academy. They fall by a final of 44-7. They're off next week, and then they'll travel to Sardis in the following week. All right, let's stay in close, everyone. Chip English coaching his first game at Grissom. Tonight, they were taking on AHSAA over at Milton Frank Stadium. Remember, he wants to turn this Grissom program back into a legit winner. Early on, the Knights of AHSAA jump on the board first. Andrew Hudson finding pay dirt. Extra point no good, so the Knights take a 6-0 lead. But here comes those Tigers. Mel Dantzler gets the rock and bellies his way across the goal line for a touchdown. Extra point was good, so that makes it 7-6, and the Grissom Tiger fans definitely loving it. Move to the second now. Jawan Thomas takes in the swing pass, and Hannah, watch how he just be patient. He follows his blocks and shows the speed as he goes down the sideline. Absolutely, that's a touchdown right there. Tigers up by 9 at the break. Let's check out your final score as Grissom goes on to win by a final score of 35-12. Congratulations to Coach Chip English getting win number 1. Let's see what happens next week as he goes for number 2.
The Austin Black Bears are coming off their second consecutive trip to the Class 6A semifinals. This year, they hope to advance beyond that. They're opening the season tonight against Jasper. Austin has been playing at Ogle Stadium for the past 50 years, but this will be their last season opener on Decatur's field. They're building their own for next season. Let's get things started in the second. Austin leads 21-7. Paxton Montgomery hands it off to the state's top running back, AHSAA Martin. He picks up about 30 yards and a first down. A few plays later, Montgomery hands it to Antonio Robinson, and he gets it in for the touchdown, and the Black Bears go up 28-7 on the ensuing kickoff. Jasper's Cortez Eatman scoops the ball up, but he's in trouble, and Samuel Booker comes in and takes him down in the end zone for the safety.
You get it. No, I get it. Okay, well, as you see, it didn't work out either way.
Mo, special teams were killing it tonight on the punt. Jasper can't secure the ball, and Austin recovers the fumble. Jasper would hold them, though, out of the end zone, forcing Austin to kick, but it's no good, so the score stays 30-7, and Austin goes on to win this one 47-7, a good season opener. Austin is at Bob Jones next week. On Thursday night, Decatur hosted James Clemens in a jamboree game. The Red Devils went 10-2 last year, but they lost a lot of seniors. In the first, the Jets strike first. Jackson Reese finds Eris Skelton Jr. in the end zone to give them the early lead. Not long after, Decatur answers. Colin Smiley takes the handoff, and he is gone.
Look at that speed.
No one can catch him. We might have helped him out a little bit. He takes it 74 yards for the touchdown to tie the game up. To the second quarter, Jets on top 13-7 now in the 34. Reese looking for his man, and he finds Devon Atkinson. He dodges some tackles on his way to the house. And the Jets go up 20-7 going into halftime. And James Clemens goes on to win this one 27-7. Next week in their season openers, Decatur is at Huntsville, and James Clemens hosts Gardendale.
All right, don't forget, everyone, we're on social media at Mo Carter WZDX and at Hannah WZDX. Who knows, we might give you a social media shout out if you actually hit us up tonight right here on the show. Now, the First Down Friday night season opening show must take a break, but when we return, we'll take a look back at some of the action from last night. So stay with us. We'll be right back right here on WZDX.
First Down Friday Night is sponsored in part by Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits.
And welcome back to the show, everyone. It's time for our Spirit of the Week, which is brought to you by Bojangles. Of course, I'm holding an empty chicken box because we went through this chicken tonight thanks to our lovely folks at Bojangles.
Yeah, thank you very much. Great food. All right, our first Spirit of the Week goes to New Hope.
All right, of course, the New Hope Indians, they have competed in numerous competitions over the past few years. Last year, the Indians marched in Disney World's parks and parades, and first-year band director Amelia Webb says this year her team is competing in a marching band competition up in Pulaski, Tennessee for the first time ever. They're also looking forward to competing in a concert band competition later on this season, and that is your Spirit of the Week. Hannah, I'll send it over to you.
It's a battle of the Golden mascots tonight. The Athens Golden Eagles are facing off against the Russellville Golden Tigers. Athens finished 3-7 last year, while Russellville finished 8-4, so this will be a good test for the Golden Eagles. And the first, Athens is going for it on 4th down, and they are stuffed just short, and head coach Cody Gross is not too happy with the call or the play. Athens would eventually get the ball back, and it's a long 3rd and 25. Logan Smothers drops back, sees nothing, so he takes matters into his own hands, and he picks up that first down. But he is not done yet. A few plays later, Smothers keeps it again and takes it into the end zone to put Athens up 7-0.
That's a true sophomore quarterback. He played last year as a freshman on the varsity, so he's got experience, Anna.
He definitely does, and Athens goes on to win 35-7. Athens is at Sparkman next week, and Russellville is at Deschler. To Westminster Christian, the Wildcats are hosting New Hope tonight. Westminster is trying to turn things around this year after finishing 2-8 last season. In the first quarter, Jeremiah Childs takes it to the house. A 74-yard run there to put the Wildcats on the board. And on the next play, Jackson Billings fakes the point after, and he takes it in for the 2-point conversion. They go up 8-0. In the second quarter, New Hope's QB Ryan Prepper goes long, but he is picked off by Jordan Smith, and they capitalize. Carter Haynes with the touchdown here to put the Wildcats up 27-0. And Westminster goes on to win 48-0. Westminster Christian plays at Brewer next week, and New Hope is at Randolph.
All right, the high school football season actually got underway last night. Around the area, there were some Thursday night action, and there was a big one down in Montgomery. Reigning 2A champ Fyffe playing in the Champions Challenge against reigning 1A champion Maplesville. Supposed to be a really, really good game, right? Well, Nathaniel Watson had a great game. Unfortunately, he played for Maplesville. On the opening kickoff, look at this guy, the Mississippi State commit, taking it 78 yards on the opening kickoff for a touchdown for Maplesville. They went up 7-0 in the second quarter. Maplesville once again on the move. Tiger Scroner throwing downfield to guess who? Nathaniel Watson. Watch him break 3 tackles and basically walks into the end zone for a score 14-0. Maplesville over Fyffe. Watson, he was not done. He'll get behind the defense once again on a 73-yard touchdown. Fyffe was stunned just by this guy alone. Let's check out your final score in the Champions Challenge. It was Maplesville beating Fyffe by a final score of 20-7. Fyffe will try to regroup next week. They will take on Geraldine. All right, Hazel Green and Huntsville playing at Milton Frank Stadium last night. We'll pick things up in the second quarter. Hazel Green quarterback Chase Darling pitches it to his running back George Obior, and Yor finds a score for a touchdown right there, 10 yards out. Trojans on top, 7-0. But Huntsville head coach Mark Fleetwood knows that his guys are capable of making a comeback, and they surely do in the second quarter. Jackson Grover hands it off to Demario Patton, and he said, "I am number one." And number one goes for 6 right here on the touchdown there. Pumping up everybody, makes it 7-7. Now, late in the second quarter, Hazel Green up by 3, looking for more. However, the pass is intercepted by Haynes Green with less than a minute to go in the first half. Let's check out your final score, as it was Hazel Green holding off Huntsville by a final score of 16-7. Those two teams are back in action next week. Hazel Green's at Buckhorn. Decatur comes in to take on Austin. Now the stands at Rip Swainer Stadium will fill up with blue and green tonight as West Limestone made a visit to Tanner. We've got that game and many others coming your way after the media timeout.
If you've got a score from your favorite team, send it to us right now. Let's get back to the highlights on First Down Friday night on WZDX.
Welcome back. We have a cross-county rivalry game tonight between West Limestone and Tanner.
Now, the Wildcats beat the Panthers for the first time since 1999 in last year's season opener by just 1 point. But Tanner was trying to, get revenge for that loss last year. Now, Chadarius Townsend, he's now at Alabama, but his replacement at quarterback isn't half bad. And it is this guy, C.J. Yarbrough, stepping back to pass, and it's like, you know what? I'm just going to take it on my own. And I like guys that wear number 1 because it remind me of the Nelly song, number 1, because they have some fun and they get to the end zone for a 50-yard score. 6-0 Rattlers on top. Still in the first, here comes West Limestone. Their new quarterback, Graham Pepper, goes deep to Alex Castillo for the big game. At the end of the first, the Rattlers still went up 6-0. They were in the red zone and had to take that long walk to the other side, and eventually they score on the next play, as this is Dalton Simmons. He gets the rock and scores. Ties the ball game up at 6 apiece. Let's check out your final score out there in Rattler land as Tanner goes on to beat West Limestone by a final score of 32-20. Next week, West Limestone's got East Limestone, while Tanner will be right here in town taking on May Jemison.
To St. John Paul II at West Morgan. Depth will be an issue for the Falcons again this year, but new head coach David Lloyd is trying to turn things around. But West Morgan is not making it easy in the first. Gabriel Paluzzo hands it off to Isaac Hoogley, who muscles his way to a first down for the Rebels. On the next play, Paluzzo to Hoogley again, but it's a trick play. He passes the ball.
Look at that,
and Maurice Gray jumps up and makes the catch between defenders. And on the next play, it's a quarterback keeper, Paluzzo, getting the job done, taking it into the end zone, and the Rebels go up 7-0. And West Morgan goes on to win 56-0. Ouch. Next up, St. John Paul plays at Curry, and West Morgan is hosting Priceville. To Decatur Heritage at Falkville tonight. Last year, the Eagles got all the way to the quarterfinals, finishing 10-3. And the Eagles are looking to end a 3-game losing streak to the Blue Devils tonight. And on their second drive, Nathan Ladner tosses it to Jeffrey Hunter for the touchdown to put them on the board first.
Oh, look at a late hit right there, man. Come on.
Come on, call that. Still in the first, Ladner connects with Hunter again, and he takes it in for another touchdown. They go up 14-0. To the second we go. Watch this play, Mo. Ladner showing off his skills, going long, and James Wilson with a great catch there in the end zone. Eagles go up 21-0 going into halftime, and Decatur Heritage goes on to win 28-19. Decatur Heritage has a bye week next week, while Falkville is at Danville.
All right, let's take you down to Phenix City. That's where Bob Jones will take it on Central High of Phenix City. We'll pick things up midway in the first half. Central backed up now. The throwback screen to Derek Moore, and he finds the end zone from 25 yards out. Central goes up 12-0 at that point. But Bob Jones, they will respond. Their quarterback, Dylan Ray, throwing the fade route to DeMontrez Brown. He hauls it in for the touchdown, making it a 12-7 game. But then the Red Devils of Central Phenix City, who will probably be a favorite to get to the 7A title game, They give it to Fyffe and punches it in for the score, 26-7 at the break. Central Phenix City was on top of Bob Jones. Let's check out your final score down in Phenix City, Alabama, and it's all Central Phenix City. They go on to knock off Bob Jones by a final of 33-7. Bob Jones returns back to the area next week when they'll take on Austin High School in what should be a really good matchup. Now, of course, this would be the time in the future where we would actually name our First Down Friday Night MVP of the week.
Each week, we will highlight one of the best performances from a Tennessee Valley player, and we want to hear who you think should be honored.
Now, of course, if you think you know an athlete that is well-deserving of our First Down Friday Night MVP award, just send us an email at firstdownmvp@rocketcitynow.com with the player's name, school, position, and stats from the last game. I know they're a great person. I know they're a good community leader, but I need to know what they did on the gridiron, and we will definitely choose one in the weeks coming up. We're not doing one this week because this is week 0, so start your nominations next week for the first one as it's going to happen. All right, we're kind of done with the high school aspect, Hannah. It's time now to go up to the college ranks.
I think it's time.
We actually have a college football game on tomorrow that features Jacksonville State. We'll talk to their head coach and find out how they feel about facing Chattanooga down in Montgomery when we return. Welcome back, everyone. Time to switch it up and roll with some college news.
It's game week for Jacksonville State. The Gamecocks take on Chattanooga tomorrow in Montgomery.
Absolutely. This is the FCS Kickoff Classic, and preparing for tomorrow's game is like preparing for a bowl game, according to the Gamecocks. Both JSU and Chattanooga, they're ranked in the top 25 of the FCS rankings. Their head coach, John Gross, says that it'll give the coaches an idea exactly where the team stands as they roll into the 2017 season.
Yeah, I think it's huge. I mean, it makes you have to prepare and get ready, you know, and season openers are always a fickle game. You know, you don't really know where you're at until you actually play somebody else. And if you're playing somebody playing down or you're playing somebody you know you're going to beat, I mean, you know, it's just, I don't know how much you get out of that. So, you know, we've been able to always play a formidable opponent, which is like a playoff game.
Over on the hill, Alabama A&M is getting its new freshman starting quarterback, Akale Glass, ready for the start of the season. The Bulldogs face off against the brand new UAB program next week. And the team's second scrimmage, Glass completed 10 of 16 passes and threw a few interceptions. But head coach James Spady thinks overall he handled the offense well. Right now, the whole team is just ready to get the season underway.
Yeah, I mean, you get to this point in training camp and guys are ready to start hitting on somebody else, and you know, tempers start to flare. We start to get a little bit testy at times, and that's a good thing because you know you want to see guys be competitive. So I don't have any problems with that, but you know we're about ready to play somebody else, so it's getting there.
The UNA Lions season opener is just about 5 days away, and they are focusing fully on taking down Texas A&M Commerce. This will be Chris Willis's first game as the Lions head coach, and he wants to start out strong. But questions about the Lions team still need to be answered, like who will be their starting quarterback? And Willis plans to make that announcement right before Thursday's game.
Alabama is getting ready for its big season opener against FSU next Saturday. It'll be more like a playoff game. Both teams will be coming with everything they have. The third-ranked Seminoles bring back a loaded defense this season. And, of course, the Tide have a number of elite players on both sides of the ball. Nick Saban and the team know what they're up against on September 2nd.
I think everybody has a tremendous amount of respect for Florida State, their program, the consistency and performance that they've created in recent years as being one of the top college football programs in the country. They certainly have an outstanding team coming back.
And finally, down on the plains, the Auburn Tigers will debut their new offense under Chip Lindsey in just about a week. Of course, Auburn will also have a new starting quarterback at the helm. There are high expectations for JUCO transfer Jarrett Stidham this fall. The Tigers don't have the toughest season opener in the world. However, they are playing a really good Georgia Southern squad, so it will be a good game for Stidham to get his feet wet and show what he can do, because you know in week 2 they'll make that trip up to Clemson to take on Dabo Swinney and the defending national champion Clemson Tigers.
That'll be a big game for them.
Absolutely. Well, we're just about out of time here on First Down Friday Night. For Hannah Alavita, I'm Mo Carter. We'll see you next week.